Uh, Alrighty. All right, let's go. So I know a couple of you guys. GU, you trade futures before or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, I have.
Yeah, you have. Okay. And Jeremy, you have?
Yes, yes. I've just started. I'm probably about 3 months in, 4 months in.
Okay, so you guys know the basics. We ain't gonna do that. My whole thing was people always ask me like, how do I set up my trades? What do I look for? Stuff like that. So we're gonna take it step by step. Let me do a share screen, and we're gonna start with a clean chart, so you don't see my crazy marked up charts. Because that'll probably confuse people more than doing. Where's the share the screen? There it is. I hit it when they move stuff around. Share. Doo-doo-doo. Let me know when y'all see the screen. Yes?
Yes.
Uh,
Okay, yeah.
oh, CP's here? Okay, I gotta bounce a couple of people now. He ain't gonna say nothing though, as usual, because I don't speak farm animal. Anywho, that's my old buddy. We go back and forth in case y'all are wondering. Okay.
I see what he was.
Alrighty. Anywho, so plain and simple. Since most of you guys have been on futures, you know how to pick the contracts, you know how to do that. So I assume majority of everybody does prop firms of one sort or another, whether you do Top Step, Take Profit, Apex, Buy Funded Futures, whatever. It's irrelevant. Most people go for the 50K accounts, okay, which makes sense, and actually it's probably the best deal. Return on capital is the 50K accounts from all these prop firms. Um, when you do 50K accounts, obviously you have drawdowns, right? Most of them are 50K or like $3,000 profit. Your drawdown will be like 2,000, 2,500. You do not want to be doing full size NQ contracts or ES contracts. You may hit once in a while, you get lucky, but consistency wise, which is what I'm about, you will blow them. Trust me, I've done plenty of them. And CP as well, he knows how it goes. You try to use those full size contracts, you will blow it real fast. One NQ wick will knock you out for 500 a grand real fast.
Mm.
So stay with the MNQs, the micro minis. And what I like to do, since we're scalping, we're not swing trading like we do on stocks. A lot of the guys that know me, I like to do are swing option plays for a couple of days, weeks. We're scalpers when you're using these prop firms because you can't hold your trade overnight, right? Basically, you start at 6, you have to close by 5 the following afternoon. So basically, we're looking for quick little moves. I personally like to take a peek at the weekly chart to see what's going on, right? Just to get a quick idea and to get mark off maybe the previous week high and low, just so I have an idea. So obviously we can see right here at MNQ, last couple of weeks, we've had a nice run up. You got a pullback. She didn't flush. And this looks like an area of support where it held, right? And bounced. So you got 1 week, second week wasn't that much. This is the current week. So we can see right now, if I zoom in, we've barely cleared the top of that one,
Y
right?
estoy con la edad de Jimena.
We're barely cleared that one, but we haven't taken out the low either.
Right,
But it's only Tuesday. Tomorrow's
right.
Wednesday, which is what? A big day, FOMC interest rate decision. So this is not uncommon to see this at all. You see enough of these charts and FOMC meetings, interest rates, you're not going to see
36.
a lot of,
Sí
movement.
lo orderlo.
Mm-hmm.
I had to mute that person. Anyway, so that gives you context of what's going on. So it looks like we're trying to push higher. This is would be all-time highs back here. Now, what I like to quickly do is I get an idea what's going on. Here's my daily. Now I'm zooming in. I'm going to see, okay, we had a nice, good little run. And right about here, we seem to be fading off, right? Looks like it's trying to
Mm-hmm.
hit this and break down. So we can see that right off the bat. Right here is Monday. That's Fridays. So that's Monday. That's Tuesday, which was today. Theoretically, Wednesday has already begun. Starts at 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see they tried to pull it down. They couldn't, pushed it back up. They tried it again yesterday. If you notice, if you sweep down in here, this low took out that low, right? And if you guys seen my
Mm-hmm.
couple of YouTube videos that I've done on previous Zoom classes, this is one of my bread and butter plays. When you see a sweep like this, that's a sweep of liquidity, and you'll see it run up. And if you zoomed in on the chart on a lower time frame, most likely you'll see that here. So these are trades where I will tend to go in heavy. When do I go heavy? I'll show you that on the chart. But this gives me context of what's going on. One thing to realize in futures, a lot of times the Monday sets the range. And this is bringing in a little bit of smart money concepts for the week. So right now, that's the range. Okay. What do I mean? This right here is your premium area. Okay. Come on, move up there. There. This down here is going to be your discount. You can see, what did we do really? Yesterday, after we made that range, we just pretty much stayed inside, right?
Right.
We came down to a discount, reacted pretty well, got a big old wick on this, and actually closed higher. So far, right now, we coming down. So if I take a trade anywhere in here, I'm not really taking a high probability of trade from a higher time frame. Okay? From a weekly basis. What I'll be looking for most likely tomorrow, and actually I probably won't even trade. If I take anything, it'll be early in the morning. If I see anything, very light. If not, I'm probably not going to trade at all tomorrow. On something like this, what you want to do is after this is Wednesday, this is when Powell includes the day. I'm going to see something of this nature. It's going to go either like this, and close below if we drop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, tomorrow, he says something positive, cuts rates, market likes it. You're going to see something like this on a candle. Is going to close out. Right? That's what I'm expecting to happen on this range. That's why I'm not trading tomorrow, because I want to see this range, either the high taken out or the discount
Oh,
taken out.
yeah.
So that means what's going to happen on Thursday? Thursday makes my day a lot easier, right? Because all I'm going to be looking to do is if we close down here tomorrow somewhere, I'm anticipating once it takes out the low to come back in this range again. Market will always try to balance itself. Or the opposite. If it sweeps up and closes up in the premium area, I'm looking to drop down back into the range. Can I get a continuation? Yes. That's where you go on lower time frames to see if it closed here, maybe it pulls back, and then I'll see it start to rip again. Same thing on the opposite side. The reason I'm going through it on a higher time frame, it's the same thing I do on a lower time frame. I do the exact same thing. No different. Candles are fractal. I showed you a weekly, right? Weekly, last week is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Same concept applies. If you took Mondays last week, there and there. What did I just say over here? I'm looking for it to move out of here, right? Or come back in the range. Monday, I traded very lightly. I actually lost a couple of trades. Tuesday, I came in good because I saw it took out the high And then when in a lower time frame, I could see it's holding it and kept going. So that was a good day. Next day, I see it come back in, could not take out the low, went right to the open, pushed right back out. So when it started doing this, I already knew from this point she's going to target the high here. What am I aiming for? Liquidity zones. Pushed up, came back down. What did it do here? Same thing. This candle probably opened here, pushed up, swept the highs, came all the way down, boom, closed back higher. So what do you think I'm looking for on Friday then? Push higher, right? Because it stayed out of this area completely. So Friday was an easy day. I took a trade early that morning and I was done because I knew it was going to rip higher once I saw this. How do I see this? We'll get into sessions and lower time frames. Okay, that makes sense to everybody?
Oh yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay. So now I'm going to drop down an hourly time frame. Same drawing, nothing changed. No crazy indicators, nothing. All I'm doing is trying to study and understand what's going on. That is all I'm trying to do. So here's Sunday where the market opened, right here. Right there. If I drop, where's the stupid horizontal line? Let's drop. So you guys can see it clearly. I don't want a horizontal line. Duh, I want a vertical line. Doo-doo-doo-doo. There we go. That is actually when the week started, right? What have we done since then? After you did Monday,
Stay
right?
within that.
What did I tell you? All you did is stay inside. You didn't do anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I traded very light, very lightly, because I knew the week was going to be like this. Some people don't trade at all. And this is why, because there's no movement. I need explosive moves like this. This is what I want to catch. I don't want to be part of this mess or this mess. In actuality, even this. I traded very lightly today. So this is from an hourly time frame. So I already know what am I looking at. I'm looking at a range bound market. It's waiting on news tomorrow. So if I take any trades later tonight, basically I'm looking for quick little moves. I'm not looking for, oh, it's going to rocket 50 points, 100 points. I'm not going to probably get that. Okay. So now we got a context of what's going on for this week.
I found it was like looked like I'm short, and now that I'm a leader,
Hello.
I feel very insecure and how
Okay. So now we're going to drop down a 15-minute chart and you can start seeing it more clearly. So on those 50K accounts that you got, you know, all you need is even like a piece of this right here. Part of that move. You're done for the day. Literally. Even something like this. Now the question comes into what are the best times? How do you find them, right? Everybody wants to know the magic question. One of the things that I like to do, I use an indicator for anchored VWAP. That's one of my go-tos. I always mark off. What you can do though, I'll show you both. Where'd it go? I have mine on a favorite toolbar. It's not on this chart. There it is. I will always anchor that first candle right where it opens. So I can see, and I'll leave it on for the whole week. Okay.
When
Just so
you
I can.
say,
Sorry?
I'm sorry, Fizz. When you say when it right opens, is it New York station Monday or London at 1 a.m. once it turns to Monday.
If you notice here, my corner here, my chart's always on New York time.
Okay.
It's going to be 6 p.m. Sunday. That's the real true open for
Okay.
futures.
Perfect.
Okay. So I will have this on the entire week. Now during the weekend session, I will go into Monday and anchor that as well. You can do this manually, but I can show you an indicator as well. So we'll change that one, I don't know, orange just for kicks. And you can see by the VWAP lines, what is price doing? Nothing. Look at it. After I took that initial dump, this is all it's been doing, right?
Mhm.
So this was uh let's go. Because I know everyone want to scalp, so we're gonna drop down to my favorite, which is the 1 minute. Okay. So let's mark this off. There's my Sunday open. This is my Monday New York. You're gonna run this until here. That candle. There's your Monday, right? Now let's take a look at what we did yesterday, Tuesday, or yeah, it's technically yesterday in futures time. Where are we? I'm still in AM. Doo-doo. Let's go. Right there. That's where he closed off. Now you saw the candles. What I'm seeing now is inside the candles, right? For the daily. This is Mondays.
Mhm.
This is Tuesdays. If you notice, we barely took out the low here. I actually took this trade and took it back up once it swept. Okay. Notice no highs have been taken out anywhere. So now the question comes into, okay, how can I scalp a trade if you're going to trade? Let's go back. Let's go back here. Outside of Anchor View up, I'm going to take these off for a minute. That one at least. I'm going to leave the one on for the week. What I like to do is break everything down into sessions. One of the ones you can do is this one, ICT kill zones and pivots.
MCT.
It's an editor's pick. It's by trade for op. There's other ones that'll give you sessions. But before I even show you that one, the other one I want to get you guys to see, because a lot of people ask me, do you get any setups in Asia? And they'll be like, how come I don't take them? Well, there's a reason for it, and this will show very cleanly why I don't. Give me 1 second. I'm on the other monitor. What is that one? Oh, that's what it's called. It's this one. It's called ICT Everything by Cold Brew Rash. We're gonna put that on. And what I like to do on this one, how mine is set, I want to see anything over 61. The only thing I like to have clicked on this particular one is just Asia. You can tweak it to any other way you like. It's just my preference, and you will see why. Buys and notes, I don't care. And it should have marked. I didn't mark the lines up. What's wrong with this? You know what? Let me do something for the essence of time. I'm just gonna copy my settings off of this one. Copy, paste. Okay. So what this does, I have it marked off, is it color codes the different sessions. The blue is Asia. You can see written. This is where London starts. This is your New York AM. This is your lunch. This is New York PM session. Then here we go back in Asia again. What I want to show you guys, if you take everything off, let's say London, let's take this off, this off, this off. There. I want you guys to pay attention to one thing. Look at Asia. What this indicator does, and it helps me gauge, and you can backtest this, and I've studied it for a while. What this does is if you're going to mark off the Asia manually, this is Asia high, right? This is Asia low. There's indicators for it, which I can show you, which is the other one I was talking about. It'll mark it off, but just to show you so you guys learn. That's the high, that's the low for Asia. As you can tell, once it picks a side, a lot of times it just ranges. This is all it does. This is why I don't like trading it. Is there a specific time you can take a trade? Yeah, that's a little more advanced technique. We can get into that later. But what I like about this particular one, it gives you standard deviation lines. So I have it set to 4. So I have 1 standard deviation away from Asia low, 2 standard deviations, 3, and 4. Okay. It does the same on the top side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, what does that all mean? If price is to snap really far, and far meaning like 2 or 3 standard deviations away from here, most likely it's going to snap back, is what I'm watching for, which you can see here. This is 1 standard deviation away, right? Look at that price. Almost to the tick. You see that? If I was going to make a line from that standard deviation line, you'll see it. Look at that. Almost to the tick and bounced. Today it tried to get a little bit further down here. This happened to be what? Our low from Monday's range. Took out that low and it got between 1 and 2 standard deviations, right? Didn't have continuation. Why did I take that trade? Let's take a look. One, I saw it started moving out when I know it should be a ranging day. So the likelihood I was waiting for is as long as I don't see it start cracking lower, I'm going to take it back up. Tack it back up where? Here's that anchored VWAP that I had logged. I can see it's flat. Price has been flat. I know FOMC's tomorrow. Price is not going to move massively. So what am I looking? Reversion to the mean trade. Sweep previous day low. How do I know it's a sweep? Here. I have 1, 2, 3 candles. Fourth one, it sweeps, immediate reaction. You see the volume? High, high. They're trying to bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Boom. Got immediate green. That candle closed above that one and closing it, engulfing that
We'll
one.
be making station stops in around at
This
Ball
one
City.
you can almost consider
It's
like
gonna be around
a
10,
pullback.
15.
This one you can see it closed higher than that one. Once it got to this candle, I was in. So my position, just without any other thing, just looking at straight price action, I'm already in. Where is there? I like my little shortcut. Say I got in. I don't remember exactly. And what I'm doing is it should not come down and say violate here. And what am I targeting originally? I'm going to say it's going to come back all the way up here. Or if you want a quick scalp, I'm going to target the high here.
1-2-1.
That's a one-on-one trade. Okay. Is it huge? No. But it's a moneymaker. It's all I care about. If I was going to hold it, actually, you could have held this all the way back to that anchor. You'd easily hit. That's a 1-2 right there. In a span of how much time? That's at 35 minutes. That's a little much for me for scalping. But there have been trades where I've stayed that long. If the, you know, the setup is there.
Do
Something
you
like
always
today, I'm going to kill it early. I'll take it right there and be done. Now, another trick you can do, what I like to do, you can do an anchor from that low. You see that? You can tell it swept below it, but it never closed really. This one did, right? But it never took out that low once it got over. This candle that really pushed it out, and then you got this big one, it never closed below it. So if you're going to think of a line, I don't draw all the lines, I just kind of watch the chart, but you know, if it helps you, hey, do what you got to do. You can see what it did right there. All it's doing is consolidating right here. What did it do when it broke out finally? And it's above that anchor from the low. Boom, target hit. You could have probably taken this trade once I saw this. Here, pull back. She didn't crack here. Boom, done. This is how you find quick scalp trades, just looking at price action and understanding what's going on. I'm not going to sit on a trade thinking, oh, it's going to run all the way back up here and take out the highs. No, it hasn't done it all day yesterday. It's not going to do it today because we know it's waiting. So you understand the context? So it makes no sense when I see people loading up 5, 10 contracts. Oh yeah, it's going to run all the way back up. No, it's not. I see people doing it in the chat with options, and I'm like, it's not going to run all the way back there. And you can see what it did. All it's doing has been rangy. That's it. Once I get back over, it's all it did. There's not much here. Now, can you get more trades out? Yes. Now, what you can do here, you can use that. You know what? Let me use mine because I already have all the settings. I don't have to do it right now then.
do you always scalp on a 1 minute?
I do. The only time I will switch up to like a 3 minute or 5 minute if I actually take trades in Asia. Just because the price just kind of ranges like this. So I like a little bit higher time frame to take a trade. So with this one, if you go in here, ICT kill zones that I showed you, TVO, you can put the shaded areas if you want to see the boxes and stuff. I prefer not to. It just clutters the chart. You can. There's plenty of settings. You can do daily open, high, low, week open, month open, day labels, opening prices for each of the ranges. I have some custom timestamps for areas I look for setups. You can label them differently if you want. You can show the entire boxes, but it gets a little much like that. So I prefer to keep them off. So you can go through this. I like to have mine for the day limit. It's always Eastern time. Okay. So since you guys, told me you guys done futures, so you understand the sessions. This is from 6 or 8. Asia is really considered all the way to 12. Now in London, what was I looking for on that? I could see the low was taken, right? Last night. lows taken, so probability tells me it's going to try and push back in the range, right? It's in here, took out the lows. London likes to manipulate. The only times it gets really odd if Asia trends only in one direction. If it's trending in one direction only, most likely it's only going to pull back to about the 50%, which is about that blue line. If you look at my chart here, it charts it for me here. If it's pulling down, most likely it's only going to come back up 50% around there. Not exact. This is general. It's going to come back. And you can see here on this night, that's exactly what it did. It came down. London actually opens here. Let me turn it on so you guys can see it. I have mine off. I just look at the times. There. That's where London opens, right? What did it do? I told you before. If it's going to come back, it's going to come back about the 50% range at least. And it's exactly what it did. London likes to give you a fake out move, always in the beginning, till about 2:30. And then from here, it'll go for the real move. Sweep back up, build liquidity, and then dump again. London almost always will do this. It'll either manipulate down and move back up, manipulate higher, and then in New York, you'll be looking for a dump off. Occasionally, you will get this as well. You can see we dumped off early morning, but this is after London. This is pre-market New York. So when you're looking at this, say coming into New York open, Asia, low taken out, London here. High hasn't been taken out yet, right? Neither has Asia high. Okay. What are they going to do? Well, they took out London low in pre. If you notice, it never violated. It came back down. What did I tell you? When you get this type of market, don't always look for the high and low. Always check the 50% area. You can see what it did. Up, down, playing around with you all pre-market morning, comes back to about half. Didn't even clear half. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, if you look at it, I got this ranging, kind of going lower, ripped all the way down, gave me a fake swing to go higher, ripped it hard down. Look at the volume on that candle right here. Look at the size of that when it dumped off. And I'm saying, okay, this is pulling up. This is what we like to call a failure swing. Made a low. I have a high in the range. It tries to get back up to it, fails to take out the highs, right? Right now, going into New York, I am looking for it to come down initially. And exactly what it does, here you are open. It gives you a nice little pump fake, grabbing liquidity from all this. I trade looking at things in liquidity. All that's liquidity for me. Everyone's shorting it. What do? Knock everybody out, rip it down, right? Rip it down. What do? You can see that New York PM low. That's previous day's afternoon low. Grab that liquidity. Here's my thick yellow line. Let me remind you again, that was the Monday range, right? Right there. What did it do? Sweep below it. As soon as they pulled back and I saw that it didn't come back down and this candle closed here and I see the next one forming, I was in the trade here to go long. Now, what am I looking for? This goes back to time-based liquidity. You see these yellow lines marked in here? One vertical, one vertical. You could do it from here as well, but I've noticed it's around this time. That's a high. This is the low of a range, Okay. So if you wanted to make a box, we could go something like this. Just make it gray. That's a high and a low of a range. What does it do here? You guys can speak up. What does it do?
Broke through that range.
What did it do though, specifically? It swept liquidity. It killed off.
Oh, okay.
It killed off anybody that was trying to long this right here.
Are you ready?
All this.
Okay, right.
Ripped it, came back. What did I say? High, low. Came back in the range. If a low is swept, where is it going to go?
Into range.
It's going to go to the opposing side of the range. So when I got in this trade, what was I targeting? Right back up here. I didn't hold it all the way till here, actually. I think I bailed here. What is that? That was my week session VWAP.
VWAP,
Once
right.
it tagged that, I was out. I could have held it and went on all the way. But that's another trade setup we can talk about. But I'm trying to make it easy for you guys because a lot of you guys DM me. I was like, I need some simple plays. This is as simple as you can get. Once you start looking at high lows, think of it in that context. There's another one that happens in London, which I actually like. I will usually wait for Asia, one side to get taken out. You've noticed there's a gap when Asia technically Asia market is still open, but for sessions and ICT and smart money concepts, it's considered midnight. Asia ends here. London doesn't open technically till here, right? So all this price action right here is considered like a London pre-market almost. Like you have a New York pre-market.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I will look at that and say, okay, what did we do in this area? Well, I can clearly see within that time since it broke here, I got a high right here, and I got a low right here that hasn't been taken either side. What am I doing? Waiting for one of the sides to get taken and then target the other side. So actually on this one, I think I posted in the Discord that I actually took a loss because once it ripped up, it came down. I kind of front ran it. I thought it was going to keep coming right here. And I took a loss when it came back up. No biggie. I waited, saw this. She pulled. What is this dotted line here? That's London open price. It reacted, came back, but you see, what did it do? It eventually finished that move, or at least close to it. Normally, I would not hold all the way here. I actually took this trade back down once it cracked again here, and I saw this big candle with the pull back in. See that green? That wicked in? I came in. Why? If you zoom in, I got a fair value gap right here. So when I got in this position, my stops is always above the wick included of the candle that helped made it. In this case, I went a little bit higher because the price action was kind of really choppy. It wasn't as smooth as it usually is. My ultimate target would be that liquidity level, that low from that range I told you. See, back here.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
in the essence of time, I killed it because I was in the trade all the way up until here. And I'm looking at the time going, well, London's about to end. New York pre-market's about to kick in. I'm going to get volatility. I'm probably going to get stopped out of this trade if I hold it. And guess what? It's exactly what it is. As soon as London ended, it ripped back up. So I actually killed it when it got about right here. Came down for this push. I saw it come back up. I got out. So even where I got out, if you look at it from an hour standpoint, I think I got out somewhere around there. That's a 5 hour
One,
trade.
105.
Yeah. But you notice I'm taking one or two setups in London. I'm not like trying to grab every candle. I'm looking at things very specifically. What is it doing? What is price doing? You could do the same thing in Asia here.
Basically, just support and resistance, right?
No, I'm looking at more
No.
liquidity levels,
Liquid.
which can be support and resistance.
Hmm.
Support and resistance is always after the fact. You know.
Oh.
Here, give you an idea. So here we opened on that day, right? Asia starts here. I have all this price action here. So I see a high of a range there. Let me grab this and I'm going to drag this here. And I see a low. This is before. So I'm going to treat this almost like an Asia pre-market. Okay. So if I make this more exact, I bet you it came right to the tick. Yep, it did. I didn't take it. I wasn't even on actually. But some of you guys ask. Asia opens here. What does it do? Take out the lows, rip back up, right? What did I tell you guys? Consider this like a pre-market Asia almost. What did price do? Sweep it, started pushing down. On that push down, let's zoom in. What do you have again? You have another fair value gap. Actually, you come in all the way down here, really. I have an explosive move from a level. Big candles, increasing volume. That's most likely going to go. Over here, you could have entered short. What are you looking for? You could target this liquidity level, this low. You'd have been good. Or you could have targeted all the way down here. Remember, I told you consider this almost like a pre-market, high or low. Easily smashed. You could be done for the evening. Go have dinner. Go do whatever. Watch TV.
Wow.
And then the rest of the time, I don't want to be involved in this. What's the point? Just to get chopped to death? Sit here and watch my screen for 3 hours, 2 hours? No, it's useless. Another key area you'll find a lot of times is around between about 9:15, 9:30. You will tend to get a reversal of some sort. But in this case, you also see it tap the low from here. See that? And here's my VWAP too coming in. This orange line, you guys see it? I can make it bigger so you guys can see it a little bit better. That one that I anchored from 6 p.m. Sunday. What did it do? Tap it. And right about that time, I know most likely it's going to come back into the range. You could try and scalp this. I mean, you could have done this pretty easily with a really tight stop loss. You would have been good. Here, I don't want nothing below there. You go a couple of ticks below. I could target that high right there. That's an easy 2 hour trade. There's no reason to like try and like go all the way. Could it go here? It's possible. Likely? No. We're scalping. And depending on what prop firm you have, you probably have, intraday drawdown or end of day. So if you have intraday drawdown and say you run up this high and you let it come back and knock you out, you just killed yourself on your drawdown. So for me, I rather take the quick scalp, take my quick little 25, $50, $100, be done. Go do something else. Wait for my next setup. A lot of times I'll go sit on the couch and just watch the chart on my phone. When I see it like it's going to come near an area I want, then I'll come downstairs to my computer to get on a trade. So you have that as a range you can use. New York. you will have similar ranges being set in the AM. Here's that anchored VWAP. You can see in pre-market, what did it do? Went above, rejected, came down. You could see it coming here, bringing it all the way down. It just dumped off. So in the same scenario, like I said earlier, you got a range high and I have a range low, right? Same thing. Let's pretend it doesn't have to be exact science. I mean, there are ways to do it exactly, but it's not necessary. If you just get this part down, even if you're off a little bit, you'll be fine. I have a high and a low. Market open. I see a low taken from that range. I also see previous day pre-market low taken or low of day. What's the likelihood it's going to do? It's going to rip back up. Say you got in here even. Stop. I don't want it to come back below there. I'm going to target opposing, which was all the way up here. That's a 4-hour trade. You're done. Got in the trade here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe you're in that trade, what, 12, 15 minutes, if that?
Wow.
And at this point, once it gets back above here and I see it holding, I'm bringing my stop up here, at least to break even. Or, as I showed you guys before, if you use the anchor VWAP, I would have just anchored this bottom candle. I could see it's holding. So maybe once this wicks out of here, it's not going below this candle. What do I mean by that? Let's be more clear. On an uptrend, you should not see any candles come below a down candle. And if you notice, that's exactly what happens right there. You see that? No candle. It tried, ever broke below. So downward candles support price movement up. If you look at the opposite, upward candles provide support on the way down. What do I mean by that? Just look at the price action. This is where I say, reading price action is more important than indicators. These are up close candles, right? Trend is down. Once it blasts through that low right there, let's mark it off. Do I see another red candle come back up here? No, it won't let it. It won't let it until down here. Now it violated. Same thing here. You can mark it again. Up close candle. Then I got a down here. This one closed below that one. Ran through. It held it. You guys see that? You can do the same thing here. That's an up close candle. Once it gets past it, it should not let candles close above it. And it doesn't. Once it cracked underneath right here, look, it did not let you got a wicks, yes, but it would not let candles close above it. So I know it's going to go down. This is how you read price action. I don't need moving averages. I don't need EMAs. I'm just straight reading what the candlesticks are doing. There's nothing wrong with using moving averages and EMAs. I use moving averages when I swing trade, and actually on my regular chart, I'll have, the 5-day moving average is always on my chart, 20, 50, 200. So I use this one, which is called the MA ribbon, which I'll paste on here. This is always on my chart. Any chart that I trade. I use simple moving average, 20, 50, 100, 200. Why do I do that? So I can see overall when I go to a higher time frame, like an hour or daily, where are we at? That's an hourly. Let's go to daily. And then you'll start getting more context into what is going on. Where did my price go? Okay. There we go. That was weird. Okay. So I can get context of what is happening. There we go. I don't know why I did that. That was weird. Here. That's my 20. That's my 50. There's a 100. Here's my 200. Right now they're all stacked, right? My bias, higher time frame, it's going to move higher. But then I go to the weekly and daily and look at what's going on. What news events is coming in? What do the candlesticks do? That's just to give me an idea. But when you get in here, now I'm looking at quick little moves. That's all I want. Liquidity. Where is it targeting or where is it grabbing from? I'm looking for reaction at key levels, anchored VWAPs. It could be one of the moving averages. Another one that I use all the time is a 5-day. Let me throw this on here. Five-day. This chart won't show in a 1 minute. I have to go to higher. So that's 5 minute. So all that chop that we saw late in the afternoon, this is why. You get that explosive move because the 5-day moving average is right there. It's a white line right there. Boom. Took it higher. Took out Asia high. Stayed above it. Range bound. Tried to take out a low. Made it swept the high. Once it took out that high from lunch and the Asia high, what's the probability it's going to do? Because remember, from a higher time frame, we said it's staying within the range, right? There's that line from the range. What is it likely going to do? Come back.
Come back down. Right.
So I'm not looking for longs after this if I was trading that. I am looking for shorts.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there's a million ways you guys can find stuff on YouTube, different methods. These are some little things that I've picked up along the way. There's a lot more advanced techniques, but that'll probably be a bit too much. But the big thing is to get an idea of what the chart's doing. What is it likely going to do for the day, for the week, news events. So I barely traded actually today. Why? Because I know tomorrow I'm not going to get much action. And he really didn't.
Mhm.
I had that one move I took in the morning. I tried a little bit in the afternoon. Actually, I think I had lost on that trade, nothing big. And I kind of called it a day. I was like, all right, forget it. There's nothing good happening. I'm not going to waste my time.
Right. It's pretty choppy today.
hmm So, like I said, my big trade was that one that I took last night, and then I took this on the open.
Mm.
And I think I only took it like up to here. I didn't even hold it all the way up here
Right. Yeah,
because
that
I
was a
saw the
nice
5-day
move on the
moving
open.
average there. So I knew it would probably push back, and it did later. So I lost a couple of points. Big deal. I still made mine.
Mhm.
And this is about not being greedy. You pick your levels, pick your shots. You survive, to trade another day.
Exactly.
It's about consistency. It's not about, oh, let me YOLO 20 contracts from here and here and clear the account in one day. Can you do it? Yes. Have I done it personally? Yeah, I've done it. But doing like 5, 10 contracts on MNQ or MES, yeah, I've done it on eval, not on a PA account. Never.
Mm.
So, these are a couple of things. I mean, there's lots of other things you can see, but like I said, always start out, I would say at least take a look at the weekly so you can see what's going on take a daily,
Right.
just mark off at least previous day highs and lows. At least that. Then I would say drop down on an hour. Some guys like to drop down to 4 hours. I really don't. Why? Because normally I trade between the 1 to the 5 minute. Most of the time I'm in the 1 minute. So for me, if
Right.
something happened on a 4 hour, it really doesn't matter to me. I'll go to an hour. I'll go to 15 minute to check structure. Um, Another good one that I like, and some people like it, some people don't. It can get a little crazy. Let me turn these off first. I like this feature. This tool, you're welcome to use it. I find it very helpful for myself, particularly if you don't have multi monitors or you're working off a laptop or something. It's this one. It's called ICT Higher Time Frame Candles by this guy Fuddy. What I like
Okay.
about this one, let me drop down here. So I'm at a 1 minute, right? For me, this is the 15-minute candles. This is the 1 hour. And these are actually the dailies. I'll switch it up sometimes, but for the most part, this is what I'm looking at. What it does is, this is the part that I'm trading, right? It's actually showing me what the 15-minute candle structure looks like here and the hour structure. And this is what the daily looks like.
Oh.
You can see it down here. It's kind
Oh,
of shaded
wow.
lightly. You can make it brighter for yourself. I prefer it this way just because I know. So if I zoom in, you'll see. Let me
All
get
right,
rid of that.
1 hour and daily. Okay.
Let me see. Let me get that. No, that's not what I want to do. Let me get this out of the way so you can actually read this.
That's pretty nice.
There's other ones. This one that I've found and I
It's-
like. Um, so there. If you notice down here, now that I've taken that off so you can read it, you can make it brighter for yourself. It actually gives you a countdown for 15-minute candle closure, hourly, gives you the daily down here. I think
Oh,
if I go
wow.
into settings, I can probably make it darker. I just prefer it that way. Yeah, large. Let's see. Yeah, you can see that there. You see that?
Yeah.
Remaining time. Let's make that
Yeah.
white so it's easier for you guys to see. You see that?
And it's yeah, and it's the ICT high time frame candles. That
By
one right there.
Fadi,
Okay.
yeah. And what's good about it is you can pick your own times and make your own. So right here, higher timer two for me is 15 minutes. I want to see 7 candles. For my 1 hour, I got 7 set. If I wanted to see, say, the 5 minute, I want to see 5 of them. So there's my 5 minutes. While I'm trading the 1 minute, I can monitor the 5, the 15, the hour. You can make it whatever you want, whatever you
Mm.
trade.
Wow.
For me, 15, 1 hour. Daily, I'll flick on and off, depending on the time of day, just to see what the daily candle's looking like. Because what I'm looking for is like
Uh-huh.
this. See? What did we do yesterday? We swept that low, right? I had
Right.
this up, so I saw it when it swept and that price action started to move back here. That's where I got in.
Mm. That's
So
sweet.
this helps because I don't have to flick through different tabs or have another monitor. I don't need 2 monitors, 3 monitors. Let me watch the hourly, let me watch the daily and the 15 or the 4 hour. I can just have it on my chart.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm scanning over. And what's nice about it is too, if you zoom in, um, here, close that off. Here, take all that off. If you took all that off, it actually even shades in like the fair value gaps for you.
Oh, wow.
So as they get filled, it'll also reduce it. It'll gray it out like this for you. I mean, I think you can change the colors or whatever. I just leave mine like this. 'Cause I don't care. Um, so when I see, oh, like, oh, okay, it popped over, say this anchor VWAP, and it gave a fair value gap, right? Well, say you're trading on it and you want to use up to 5 minute, I could say, okay, you know what? When price comes back here, I'm going to get in maybe because a lot of times it'll fill it. If you want to try a quick scalp, you can say here, that should be respected. My rule is whatever candle assisted in making it, I go down to the wick. So I'll be down here and then I'm going to target, I'm looking for at least 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 1. And I could pick here. Why am I picking that? Because I can look over the 15. I see a high here. That high is right here. So now I have a 1 to 1.3. Let's see if it hits actually. Might get up there. But you see that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you want to be more conservative, you
Yeah.
could say, hey, you know what? I don't want it if it cracks that low or that low. That's up to you. Now, look at that. You're risking so little. I get
That's
a
almost
decent
a
trade,
7, right?
breaking above VWAP, target a high. I have a fair value gap on the 5 minute. I have a fair value gap on the 15. And actually, it's a pretty solid trade. You know why? See this one? That one came on the down move, right? It
Mm-hmm.
flipped it. That's what you call an inverted fair value gap now. So the likelihood
Oh,
it to hold is pretty good on the short term. So I could set this and let it run. I mean, if I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose what? How much is that? 673 to 670? 3 points? 3 ticks? I mean, that ain't nothing.
mhm.
But I have a shot of bringing it all the way up here. And you can see it broke out with good volume.
Do you take partials on it on the way, or do you just hold to the TPs?
No, I'll take partials. I read candles. So, like right here, when I see this starting to pull back like this, I might even just bring my stop up to break even at least at that point. If I break
Gotcha.
even, I break even. Maybe even up to that AV WAP right
I
there.
was
At
gonna
least,
ask, man. I'm sorry, Faze, didn't mean to cut you off, but that's one of my questions: is how quick do you move your stop to a break even?
I'm pretty quick. I'm quick on the trigger. Um, but it also depends on the structure. So when I saw this come down here, I would be up here right now. Why? It tried it once, it tried it twice. It comes down one more time, there's a chance it's gonna punch through. So right now I can see volumes dipping off, but I can see from that wick they're trying to push it. So I'm not gonna, you know, kick out just yet.
What's your mindset on dealing with a stop loss? Once you hit your stop loss,
What do you mean?
like when everything's going good, and like me, I was in a real good winning trade, winning cycle, and I got that losing trade, and I just didn't follow my plan, and man, I just let it rip, 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 and got a big old loss.
Yeah, been there, done that. And fortunately, it's part of the learning process. It's part of the discipline.
But
Um,
what's your mindset you get on it? How did you learn how to deal with it? You just learn it on the way, or
you honestly, you get your ass kicked enough times, yeah, you learn your lesson. You blow enough accounts, you
yeah,
lose enough money, you learn not to do it. I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie
because
and say I'd never done it. Done it plenty of times. Plenty of times. See a good solid setup, get kicked out for 100, 200, $300. Now I'm mad. Like, no, it should go there. Well, I learned market shouldn't do anything. It does what the hell it wants.
Mhm.
You
yeah,
know, Mario, one of the pros in the same Discord, he's my mentor. He told me greatest thing I ever probably learned is only thing you control is how much you're gonna lose. If I could get tattoos, I'd probably get that tattooed, on my damn chest or something. Because that's the only thing you control. Even in this trade right now, I just put on Machwise. What do I control? I don't control whether it's gonna go up here, up here, up here, only up to here. None. Only one part of this trade I control. That.
Mhm.
So now I see it pushing. This stop might come up here, right? I'm gonna lock in a little something. I see it got past here, might bring it up here. You know, because I know what time it is. It's Asia. Asia kind of lulls around. You don't get many explosive moves. So I'm not looking actually for a massive one candle to go all the way here. You see what I mean? Everything's in context. If this is New York, I'd probably leave my stop down here because New York is known to go massive movement, right? With the volume. London is probably second craziest at times. Asia likes to do small moves, but once it picks a direction, it tends to stay in that direction for a minute. Then once it starts to go down, she'll probably continue going down. But once it reverses, it'll just range back up. What is it doing? Higher time frame. It looks like a lot on this. All it's doing is ranging. And you can play this on Asia if you wanted to. But the trick is you don't bag hold. If this starts pulling back, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to bring my stop all the way down here because it's got to bounce. It ain't got to do shit. It's going to do what it wants to do. You know, are you going to ever catch the entire move from here to here? Probably not. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No.
Hey, how does that saying go? The market will stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent.
100%. 1,000%. 1,000%. That's why, in my trading journey, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Here, I'll show you. These are my favorites on my indicators. Do you see how many I went through? Just studying and learning and just testing stuff. That's over the last probably like 2 years, 3 years, trying different stuff. And what I've come to realize is simpler is better, number one. I mean, do I combine a couple of things that I guess other people consider advanced? Yes. But I've been doing this long enough where I know when to use what, when not to use it. You know what I mean? That comes with experience. And that comes with your style of trading and your setup. So all those things where people say, oh, the indicator, the MACD's here, the oscillator's here, RSI is here, it's got to come down. No, it doesn't. Market do not care what your indicators say. I could say here, Brian Shannon and Mario come in, anchored VWAP. It's going to respect this. It doesn't have to. It just proved you wrong right here. Look, blasted through and said, nope, come back down. So, Brian Shannon in his book, says it's not absolute. There are areas of interest. And that's true. That's for any support, resistance level, whatever you want to call it. I use them as liquidity. I'm just watching price. Like, if you heard what I said earlier in this trade, I was anticipating what the move could be, but I wasn't 100%. I waited for the reaction. I saw the right price movement. Then I got in. Same thing here that I did on this one. I saw it here. It bounced above. It seems to be trending. Could it push higher? Yeah, okay. I'll try that. Tight stop loss. Let it go. I let the stop loss prove me wrong. I mean, if it ran up pretty high and I let it go, then I'd probably kick myself in the butt. Why'd I do that? Better to kill the trade. Is it possible it sweeps down and rips back? Yeah. Guess what? If it starts ripping back, I'll look to enter again. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah,
Questions?
yep.
Let me
Yes, yes.
see. Can you explain to the fam why you prefer kill zone hours? What you mean, CP kill zone hours?
How long did it take you to become profitable?
Um, my background, primarily was a long-term investor for a long time.
Mhm.
Professionally, I'm in the accounting and finance field. So, I'm one of those nerds that work on balance sheets, income statements, accounting systems, and stuff like that. When I got into day trading, this is rather my third year in. First year was complete chaos, trying every method, every indicator I could come up with, come across, every YouTube channel, tried them all. Um, so it wasn't good. Lost a lot of money, but learning because I understood the financial aspects of companies, but day trading from a technical standpoint, I didn't really know. Um, I would say I paper traded for about a good 3, 4 months for a while before I went back in with real money again. And that was pretty much working with Mario. After that, my second year, I want to say I got to about break even. Third year, I've been profitable since. So after that second year, I started becoming pretty profitable on a regular basis. So at this point, I made back everything I lost in that first year. Second year, profitable now. Um, let's see. Looking to not having to work is the goal. My goal is January 2026. I'm almost there, a little bit behind. Just how things go, life goes. But I should be getting to the point where I don't have to work anymore, where my trading covers my bills.
And do you do strictly funded accounts, or do you also trade with your futures with your real account?
Um, as cheap as the futures have been, these prop firms, I exploit them heavily.
Okay, okay, nice.
So what I've been doing, using that to pay down other debt, my other bills, fund my regular trading accounts on stocks, long term. I trade stocks, options, crypto, all the above.
Nice.
But for options, I've done a lot less options. I don't day trade options as much anymore because I find futures is easier to do and less riskier. Why? I don't have to worry about theta, Greeks, none of that. In this, I just have to get the right direction. And I trade directly on TradingView by, connecting your account. So all my prop firm accounts are through Tradeovate. So I trade right on the chart. Only thing I have to worry about is, hey, there's my take profit, there's my stop. Oh, I'm in profit, good, slide it up. I don't have to worry about, oh, price is ranging, I have theta decay, my option is dying. I don't have to worry about none of that. So for day
Mm.
trading, I will strictly day trade futures. Occasionally, I'll take options once in a while, very rarely. On particularly high probability setups, I'll take them. I'll swing them out longer term. I'll swing trade shares. But for day trading, no. Zero DTEs is just straight gambling. Can you make money on it? Yes. I find this easier. A prop firm challenge of 50K is going to run me what? Depending on if you
50,
catch a sale, 50,
$70.
$60 to 120, 130 is a range, right? I pass that. I can easily clock 500 to 1,000. As long as I don't blow it, I keep requesting payouts from it. And if I blow the account, okay, I'm out, what, 100, $150, right? I'm not out on 10 contracts on SPY that I, threw $500 at and I blew it in one day.
Yeah.
So for me, the risk to reward, return on capital, I'd rather do it on futures for day trading than I'd do it on options.
Okay. I had to set up a prop firm yet. What would you recommend? Which one would you recommend for me as my first one?
First one, it's not really gonna matter which one, to be quite honest.
Okay.
Um, I would highly recommend paper trade for a little while. Tradeovate lets you
Mhm.
paper trade. I think Trading Views got it on there. You can paper trade. paper trade for a minute till you understand how everything works. You
Mm-hmm.
define your edge, you know, and all that. Then get a prop firm. And if I say, if it's your first prop firm, you're just starting, everyone's got an opinion on every prop firm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, go for the cheapest one because the likelihood you're gonna blow it is pretty high.
Okay.
Be straight up honest. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I don't know how many accounts I blew before I got consistent. Why? Because, control emotions, wanted to finish it quick. See other YouTubers, swinging five NQ contracts on a 50K. But for them, they consider blowing the accounts as part of their cost of business. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do that. That's like lottery ticket. That's like zero DT
Right.
trading options at 2 p.m. I'm not going to do that. That's gambling. That's not trading.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
how many mini contracts do you go in
on
usually?
micros,
Yeah, micros. Yeah, how many micros do you go in usually?
majority of the time, I'll be 1 to 3.
Okay, so you
Majority of
you
the time.
risking 100 or 150 a day or on each trade?
Maybe about $50,
Oh
50
wow,
to
that low.
100,
Oh wow.
50 to 100. That's all I'm doing. And I'll make 300 on average easily a day. I use a copy trader. So I have over 10 accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
I will group them according to what I see the trade setup is. If it's like at a so-so, I have particular set of accounts that I'll use. If it's my live PA accounts and I know it's a solid setup, an A plus setup for me, then I will go in there with 8, 10 accounts, copy trading. So basically, if I hit that trade, say it's $200 on that trade, 150, now I do that times 10.
What about when you're trying to pass the funded account to get to the express? Do you also take it that light?
Yeah, I
Oh
do it the
wow,
same way. Here, I mean, do the math. Here.
200 times three, right? That's 1,500. Takes you about a week and a
No.
half to.
What's your profit target? You need like 3,000 to pass any of these 50Ks, right?
Correct.
How many trading days do you have in a full month? Forget this month because we have a lot of holidays. You got 20,
20.
right?
Yes, sir.
So if you do 20 times 150
In the month.
in a month, you cleared it before you get hit again. That's with 150 average. Some days you're going to hit 50, some days you're going to hit 300, 400. So the point is, you don't have to go YOLO crazy and trying to get 3,000 in a day. Yeah, I know they tell you can pass in one day. You can pass in 2 days at the 40% because, yeah, you can. Doesn't mean you have to. Oh, you can trade four, minis on a. Why would you want to do that? One trade, your account's blown. So my point is, I do them consistently. Did it take me a while to get that many accounts? Yeah. But now that I have a solid edge plan, I'm confident in my trading. I used to be scared in the beginning to copy trade accounts. First time I did it, I blew 3 accounts. Not because my setup or trading was bad, because I was that nervous. Like, oh crap, I'm trading 3 accounts at once. Guess what? Went back, got a couple more evals, did it again. Now depending on the setup, I'll pick 5 accounts, 6 accounts, 10 accounts to trade at once. Why? Because all I'm looking is for these little base hits. Occasionally, I'll hit 500, 600 on a trade. So, say I have a really good day, 500 times 10 accounts.
$5,000.
Yeah. But my point is, you don't have to aim for that. I mean, if you just did a moderate 200, that's 2 grand. And mind you, that's per per account you're going to clear.
Hey, Face, quick question. Like, do you go in and when you see your setup, you go in And you build your position, or you automatically go in 5 contracts, 6, 10, however you do it. I'm not.
Um, that
Wh-
question depends on what I see. Let's just put it that way. So, one that I'll go probably higher on. I wouldn't go in anytime this week, tell you the truth.
It's because the way you trade pays. Sorry to interrupt. You don't
Yeah.
really care about how many contracts you're gonna go in. It depend. You're just caring about how much you're gonna risk, right? Like sometimes your stop loss is short, but you're still risking those $100 or $50, and so you get more contract, and some your stop loss is longer, which only gives you less contracts, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, let me see if I go. Where did I have a really good one that I went in heavy? Here. Yeah, Fridays. I actually took this one pretty decently heavy. And if you scale back, you'll see why. So without even looking at sessions, looking at the whole day. So that's 6 there. I see a low. I'm not even using Asia, London, and all that. All I'm doing is looking at the chart. So this happened at 3:24 in the morning. This is roughly when the day started, a little bit after, right? Here we come into the start of the day at 9:30. What do I see happen at pre-market? Came down, right? High, low of the entire overnight. Came down, swept it. So what is it likely going to do?
Got it.
It's going to rip higher. So now my bias coming into 9:30, which starts right here. We come up, grab that liquidity, right? Now, why is my bias higher? Because the entire higher time frame, we've been pushing higher, right? If I zoom out, you can see that. We've come in up. I mean, if you go to a daily, you'll see it. This is all previous week. So when I come into here on Friday morning and I took this, came up, there's your break, there's your retest right there. You could have got it on pre-market if you were up that early. Right here. Crack, open, came up, came down, tapping in there. What is this? If you actually measured this out, let's do. I boxed it high, low. What is that? The midpoint, right? This is often what's called a halfback. Price goes up, sets a range. A lot of times we'll come back and try and tap 50% of that range. And that's what it did. It swept down below it and rocketed back up. So at this point, you can take this and take it all the way back up. Another reason why is that if I put the sessions back on, I don't know if it'll put it on this far back. Yeah, it does. There's your high, all the way low. What did price do? Took out the low, took out Asia low. It already took out London. So right now my bias is to go long. And if you notice, what did Asia kind of do in London right here? Anybody? What did
Just
it do?
chopped. It didn't do shit. Just chopped. Move sideways.
It moved sideways, right? So, if I was gonna box this up, really, let's just say here even. I don't care. You don't have to be exact. Just to get you an idea. So let's see. That was Thursday. Actually, I should take this here. Sorry. There. Just use the box, man. That's all you gotta do. So in this situation, you notice market opens. Asia, what did I tell you? When it trends one way, you're likely to continue, right? London stays flat. So what do you have here? Accumulation. There's your manipulation move.
And then distribution.
There's your distribution out. You could took the reverse trade as well. Why would I take the reverse trade? You have what you call kill zones. They usually start in the AM session. You'll have between 10 and 11. You get a lot of movement. You'll have another one in the afternoon between 2 and 3. So once it did this, it left all, if you go in here, you can mark them up and you'll see there's going to be a lot of little fair value gaps running through here. If you don't know how to mark them up, you can use, there's a bunch of different ones. You can use that one. Luxalga one is pretty good. Mitigate. I don't think it's going to show it right now because they're already mitigated. I'll have to do a replay if I wanted to see it. You have all these little fair value gaps if you look in here. There. When price continuously moves in one direction like that, that's what you call an imbalance. So what is price likely going to do? It's likely to come back and balance it. Is what it's going to try and do. Doesn't always do it. Let me see if this one will give you a little better. Yeah, it probably won't go out that far because that went really far back in time. So once it made that, it's going to come back down and try and balance all this out. And if you notice, it's exactly what it does. It smashed it all the way through. And it happened in your kill zone. So vertical line, let's mark off the 10. And then we're going to mark off 11. Candle opened here. Higher. That was your wick, pretty much. Comes all the way back down. This part becomes your lower wick because you opened here, right? Opened, high, low, candlestick close. If you just caught that one trade or pulled this one, you're done for the day. No reason to try and play all this. You didn't do squat. Nothing. The entire afternoon. What is there to do? So it goes back to understanding market structure. Does it always happen like this? No. A lot of times you get Asia range. London will manipulate either higher. So this move might happen in London on the downside or the upside. But when I see both sessions doing this, then I'm looking for New York to make an explosive move.
There's a guy, I don't know if you ever watch his videos in YouTube. Carlos, I think is his name. Carlos something. The
Carlos
little chubby
FX.
guy. I think so. He all he does is just FVGs. That's it. He doesn't trade anything else, just FVGs, man. His strategy, it works for him. I mean, I like SVGs to a point, but you gotta be kind of like selective on which ones to use and which ones not to use.
Yes, you do. Like here. Yeah, it won't do the old ones because they're so far back, but this is current price. So I can see the fair value gap that I told you about earlier. and boom, went all the way back up. Now down here, it came back in. Remember I told you there was a chance it's going to come back down in there again? There it is. Now right here, you could wait and see, like, what is it going to do? Is it going to react higher? Yeah. My rule is 50%. It should not give me a candle closure. Wick, it can wick in. So that's why a lot of times I tell you this a fair value gap is what? 3 candlestick pattern, right? 1, 2, 3. So if I was going to take a long on this, for example, say I got in, I don't know, I'm just going to say I got in here for kicks. My stop is here. I'm lining it up with that first candle. And I'm going to target maybe up here. Why do I give it that much room for the fair value gap and a little bit below? Because you can wick all the way down in as long as it doesn't close. And you'll see that a lot. Down here, look. You wicked in all these times. Everyone thinks, oh, it's going to touch the top and go. No. You can wick all the way in and then bounce out. That's not uncommon at all. Some guys say use 50. That holds most of the time as well, too. Not always, but like trading, it's a matter of probabilities, what you're comfortable with. Some guys I know just say, hey, once it goes past 50, I'm out. Some guys just do the bottom of the fair value gap. This one, I would go lower just because that first candle is kind of small. So between this and this is not much difference to me. I'll take that. So does every fair value gap, get respected? Yes, no. Yes, no. Why? Because you don't know till after the fact. Trading is probabilities. It's not a lotto ticket. So this one here is this fair value gap that we're seeing right here. And if you look, this is a 15-minute chart, right? Right here. You see? Remember I told you it can go past the 50%? 50% of this fair value gap's right here. See how it wicks in? That wicked in, but didn't close.
Hey, I don't know if it helps, but one thing that I saw on one of his videos, he liked to use the tool called the Gang Box. That kind of like is like a square, but you can, yes, there you go. And then what he likes to do is that exactly he does because you can do the Fibonacci's on those.
Yeah.
So he says as soon as it goes to like the golden zone, that's when I put in my entry, and my stop will be definitely below the candle that created the fair
Mhm.
value gap, and
Yeah.
then I'll just let it play.
Yeah. I have a lot of these different settings on here. I got fibs. I got price range. You got whatever. I got Fibonacci retracements. I'll take the high, bring it to the low, and see if it comes down to this golden zone. She's gonna bounce back out, and you can see from an hourly standpoint, it's getting down there. Got to the 50, 60%, and look at that wick we got. There's a lot of different ways to do it. You know, some guys will do this. Some guys use the GAN box in here. Um, me, I just have it set where I can see the 50 and I just eyeball it. That's 25. That's around the 75. That's fine enough for me because I'm scalping on this. All I'm looking for, if I don't get this whole move, I'm just looking for a piece of that. This move, if I went and stayed in that long, I probably would have killed it right here. Or at least brought my stops up to here. Or here if I want to be, if I really think it's going to push, maybe just to here. The first fair value gap. You see what I'm saying? Everyone's got
Yeah.
their little nuance of what they like to do. Me, I'll read the candles and see. So if say my stop was down here and I see this candle pushing out, I'm gonna wait for this candle to see if it holds or is it gonna come down deeper. If I see it start to come down deeper, I might move it down here just to lock in some profit. If I get stopped, so be it. If I see it wick out, okay, I can re-enter.
Yeah, I'd rather be stopped out and not fucking be at a profit. I mean, you can always re-enter anytime.
Yeah, there's no rule on it.
I got a question for anybody on the chat. Does anyone uses Webull for like a personal account to trade futures?
Nah.
I use it for
No.
stocks and options.
No, well, Trader Bait.
Yeah, I can't use TradeOvate. They did that KYC thing on me, and then they were like, "Nope, you can't." They banned me from TradeOvate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I ended up having to use like a different broker. I went to one platform that I would not recommend to anyone if TradeOvate does ever do that to you. Do not go to platform called Ironbean. They fucking suck.
mm.
I never
No, they
use it.
Okay,
I
I
heard
remember
what's her
that.
name's is pretty good. You Internet of Brokers.
all right. I'm just trying to see like, cause you know how on TradeOvate you don't have to have like the whole fucking 25,000 to be able to trade futures and all that. Like, be able to use some leverage, and then like the amount of like what each like an MES or MNQ would cost you. So, but I noticed that there are some people that uses on futures, they use Webull. So I was like, man, like, do you have to have all that money in there, or can you just have
No,
like,
they should have margin requirements depending on what you're trading.
I'm just trying to figure it out, because yeah, the other thing that like I said that I was saying about the Iron Bean is like they fucking kill you on the contract, the pricing. Like if you
Mm,
trade like a regular NQ, to buy it and sell it will cost you $7. So round trip is $7. That's you've got to put in already like automatically in your mind it's $7. If you do MNQs, is $2.30 round trip.
okay. Right.
So the more you buy, like you got to take into consideration that that's just gonna eat
Right.
into your profits.
Yep.
So it kind of that's why I was like, man, like really, like they fucking they really get you, and then they have like a stupid liquidation margin where if it is below a certain percentage of your account, they'll automatically liquidate you. So it's like, man, like what the fuck?
So why are you out of the country or?
No, I'm freaking in Texas, bro.
Oh, okay. Then why KYC a problem?
Uh, they told me that I was a gambler. That's basically what
Oh.
fucking TradeObase said, that I was a gambler.
Yeah, might be onto something.
That's what I said.
Yep.
They did it because I had a couple deposits, and they were like, oh well, they made me send in like bank statements to see like what my bank account looked like and all that kind of shit. And I'm like, bro, like really, like are you? So I had to submit all that stuff, and then they went through a process, and then they got me back and saying, oh yeah, no, I don't. We believe that Trader Bay might not be a fit for you. Just we have to follow up. What is it? The FDC regulations or whatever fucking system they have to follow. So I was like, okay, well, fuck it then.
No. Yeah, I mean, you can check out the other prop firms, you know what they use. You can get Creativate. People use
Yeah. So
Project X. Project X is
I,
really
I
glitchy.
mean,
I don't like it.
I stopped using like my personal. I just been on like prop firms, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Um, but I was like, man, like I at the same time, I still want to like try it out on my personal just to see how it goes
Oh, the
again. But
personal cash, you can do
yeah,
like TradeStation, Interactive Brokers. They're good. Even Schwab with Thinkorswim. I mean, they have a pretty decent, robust system.
yeah, as long as you don't have like, as long as they let you do margin and leverage and like, because like I said, some of these are like, oh no, you gotta have the whole fucking 35, 50 grand to fucking be able to trade. one. It's like, shit, I don't got that kind of money yet.
Well, you try to do what, NQ contracts?
MNQ's hell no, bro. Like shit, I blew too much money on NQ already.
Oh, okay. You shouldn't need that
No,
much.
man.
Those
I,
margin
I
requirements should not be that high for that.
I learned my lesson with that, man. I lost quite a bit of money just fucking around with NQ, man.
Oh, yep,
That's why I said fucking I learned the hard lesson of like the market could stay fucking irrational longer than you can stay solvent.
yep. I've blown some accounts doing that myself. So that's why on these 50Ks, I do not do NQs. The only time that I would say you can try is once you get past like 53. So say you're risking 250, 500 on an NQ contract or an ES contract. If you lose out 250, 400, 500, say on a trade, your account's not blown because you're still above your drawdown or you're right there. So then you know, like, okay, go back to MNQ, go back to MES.
No, I blocked those right away. Like I stay. If you look at my trading view, there's no NQ, there's no ES. It's just MNQ, MES. Not even gold. I stay away from gold. I just do like the regular micros on gold.
Hmm.
Anything that's like fucking big size, no, fuck that. I
Yeah.
close those out. I
What
block
I'll
this
what I'll
motherfucker.
tell people is get consistent. Do one account. Then, try to get a payout on it. Once you get that, okay, pick up another eval. Work them separately. Once you get a couple under your belt and you can see yourself being consistent, then pick up a trade copier. Because this way, actually, my trade copier is probably my best friend this year. Why is that? It takes the stress out of my trades. Why does it take the stress out of my trades? When you think about it, I don't have to hit home runs. I don't have to hit 500 a grand on a trade. I take my little 100, 200 bucks, 250, whatever I get out of the market. All I worry about is the setup. What does that setup gives me? Because then what I'm doing is using the multiple accounts as my leverage instead of leveraging more contracts. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So I don't have to worry about trying to hit 500 a grand on a trade. I can hit that dollar amount technically on $100 trade, on $150 trade. At that point, I'm done for the day. That's more than what I make, at my job when I'm working. No reason for me to do that. I mean, just do the math. If you had average work days, what, 8 hours, right? 8 hours, say you make one trade with 8 accounts. I made $100. You just made $100 an hour. And you probably did it in what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe.
Yeah,
Uh,
small base hits, man. Those
y-
shit that they add up quick.
Yep, and that took me a while to get through my fat head. But once I got that down, that's all I stick to. I don't care. I see people who go, "Oh, I made 1,000 on a trade. Great, good for you." Guess what? I just did that in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, stress free. I shut off the computer. I'm upstairs playing with my daughter and the cat.
Yeah. Well, Jens, I might have to let you go, man. I gotta go hit the road. Now I gotta go fucking work because I gotta go work overnight. But
All right,
Face,
man.
thank you so much, man. I really appreciate the lesson. Shit, this has been very knowledgeable, man. I really appreciate you taking the time. So thank you again.
All right, guys.
Face
Absolutely. That was good.
on the way you trade, what's your winning rate percentage usually around?
Um, yeah, I can show you. Give me a second.
Yeah, man. Me
I
per-
I go anywhere from 60 to 80%.
okay, nice.
It fluctuates. Here, I'm trying to pull up my thing because it journals for me in here. Only thing that gets a little misleading is sometimes when you get these big really good deals on accounts. I'm not gonna lie, I'll go in heavy because I got them dirt cheap. But I won't do that on my regular accounts.
Mm. What do you usually use? Top Step or Apex? What's your favorite
I have most of my accounts are Apex because I can get the most accounts.
to copy?
Actually, tell you the truth,
Yeah, man, because I do options a lot, right?
yeah, you can see it right here. 69% win rate, 1.2 profit factor. Out of the last 10, I got what? 10, one loss. So yeah, I had a really bad day here. And the reason it seems like a lot because they're copy traded accounts. But then after that, I'm fine. And it journals it for me so you can see long, short, 7,000, P&L, 7 grand. So,
Yeah.
it's a process. Only thing is, it seems like a lot of trades because they're copy traded. So every account that it's trading on, it counts as a trade.
Correct. Yeah, because I've been doing a lot of options, man, but I want to get into more into futures. So options, the only thing is the delta and the dia get you. That's what sucks on it.
You have to understand how to do it, and people don't understand short-term options is very high risk.
Very high risk. Correct, correct.
Very high risk. Can you make money? Yes. For newbies, it's very difficult. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, because at the beginning of the year, man, I started doing options and I was down close to 9,500, and probably in 2 months I recovered everything, right? And I was already positive for the year 2000. Then I had this Monday, I had that trade that I didn't want to sell. I didn't want to sell on SPY. It got me down to negative 2,000 for the year. I lost more than $5,000 in a day and a half. I was
Yep.
like, golly.
You gotta have the discipline.
That's
Discipline's the
it.
hardest part of trading. You can Anybody can learn technical analysis. Let me tell you that. Anybody. I've taught some people with zero experience, zero knowledge on finance, trading, anything. Is the hardest part is the discipline.
And I completely like, man, I risked it all for trading, right? I had my oil field company and I let it go because of the stress and everything. So my I'm always trying to make that big money how I used to make it with my company. And man, it's not working. I said, man, you know what? I need to size down on everything because I'm trying to get to those $2,000-$3,000 days, and it's pretty hard when you're a newbie in trading, especially you got to risk big money to make that money.
Yeah, that's true. So as your account grows, if you keep it consistent, you'll
Mm.
automatically more, just like I do with the futures. Like I said, I started with one account, two account, three account, just kept adding them.
Yeah,
So those become my leverage. A regular stock and options account, same way. Take
and the
my
only
little base hits. I keep my percentages tight. The most I ever probably go on a trade, my risk is maybe 5% of my account. I usually try to stay within 2 to 3%.
yeah, and that's
And I go from there. And guess what? They just compounds.
compound. You're correct.
In the beginning, I was only doing one contract at a time, maybe two. Then I got to three. Then I got to four. Then I could do 5 shares. Then I could do 10 shares. It just compounds on itself. But the funny thing is, I'm still doing the same percentage.
Correct. Yeah, that's where. Yeah, because I've tried it all, man, and the thing that gets to me is I always see it money wise, right? And that's what Mario tells me all the time is because your problem is you see everything money wise. You need to start seeing it as a percentage wise.
Yeah. Because if you notice when I did on the screen when I was showing you the short long positions, if you notice, I didn't say nothing about dollars.
Correct.
I'm just looking at ours.
At
Risk
ours.
1, 2 hours, 3 hours, boom, I'm out. If it keeps running, I'll just trail my stop along with it where I think it should be. If I get kicked, fine, so be it. You know,
Yes,
some
sir.
days I only make $50, for the whole day. Some days 100. Some days I'm pulling off of 500 a G. You take what the market gives you.
Correct. Correct. Because if you don't, it can backlash you real fast.
Oh yeah, it'll humble you real quick. That's
Yeah.
why I laugh sometimes in the sane Discord. Like I was just chatting with someone earlier tonight. They're like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna play earnings on Oracle." I was like, "You just straight lotto ticketing right now, because that's right after Powell speaks." I was like, "Nah." Like, "Oh, you're not anything?" I go, "I'm in nothing till after tomorrow. Zero."
Yeah.
Because I've been burned so many times. I mean, I remember one day I think I lost like 3.5, 4 grand in a day
Golly.
when I first started.
With options?
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought I
Like,
knew what I was doing. I knew this was gonna happen, but I didn't account for IV crush. I didn't account for to stay flat, theta decay, all that. I got destroyed.
Mm.
But
well,
you live and
on,
learn. Since then, never did it again.
yeah, because doing options, I've been doing it for probably like, I want to say 3 years already, right? And I'm down like 33,000. So I said, man, I need to learn something better how to do it.
I would say learn to trade shares properly before you get
Yeah.
into options.
Yeah.
If you can
But
swing trade and day trade shares, then as your account grows, you'll be able to do options. Because if you can't do it with shares, you can't do it with options.
correct, correct. Yeah, and the problem with options, I've been doing it like as day trading, right? I only do SPY. That's all I do with options. I I just and I always try to get a 5 day expiration date.
Yeah,
So
but the
that's
thing is, see, one thing that I'll tell you from experience, and I know a lot of people like, oh, learn one ticker, learn how it moves. That's bullshit.
no, yeah,
Sorry. I don't care what anyone, I don't care who says it, some big YouTuber, owner of the Discord. That's bullshit. It's the setup
the
that
setup.
you are taking that makes you money, not the ticker.
And usually I'm real good on my technical analysis, right? The problem that gets to me is my not selling when I need to, right? When I set my stop loss and I see it breaks down, and inside me I say, man, this shit's going down, and yet I don't sell and I don't sell. I'm like, why am I not selling?
That goes back to being
Greedy, right?
disciplined.
Discipline and greedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and I mean everything's been real helpful, man.
Yep. The people will learn the hard way. Some don't.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm waiting for tomorrow. I mean, that's just straight gambling when you do it on earnings. There are some advanced ways to possibly play options on earnings, but honestly, most newbies don't know those and they're not going to work. And they're still high risk. Even with as much as I know and how to do straddles and strangles and iron condors and all that, even then I won't do them. Because for me, it's easier just to wait till after the fact to see what's going on and take that.
And I'm no joke. I was thinking of doing it, right. The options, waiting for Paul to speak. Then because I when I do options, like I'm a real quick scalper. I go in with 25 contracts or 20 contracts and try to get a right. If when I win, it's usually 800 $900 a day. But I do risk from 25 to 20 to 30 contracts.
That's a lot,
So
my friend.
yeah, yeah. So I said, you know what? I need to start learning a
But
different way.
well, a different way. Let me put this into perspective for you. If you can't make money for with one contract, two contract, three contract, there's no way in hell you're gonna make money with 20 and 30.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like giving my youngest son, he can't drive, can't look over the steering wheel, give him a car. Now, whether I give him the car or I give him my SUV or I buy him a Lambo, he can't drive it
It's gonna be yeah.
because he
He's
can't
gonna
drive the Corolla. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah.
not gonna put him on a racetrack when he can't even look over the steering wheel. It makes no sense.
Correct.
So, start small, make it consistent. If you can make it consistent with, one, two contracts, three contracts, whatever edge, whatever way you trade, then you scale up. And as your account grows, you'll naturally scale up.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you want to stay long in this game, it's about consistency. I'll tell you that right now.
Yes.
And every
Yes.
earnings season, I see it in the Discord. It's hilarious. All these people gambling earnings. The worst thing that can happen to any of them is they actually hit it. Because
Yeah.
the next time around, they load in like 10 contracts, 5 contracts. Guess what? That's when they get liquidated and they blow their accounts. And I see them gone from the Discord. I've been in those for long enough where I've seen them come and go like clockwork. Happens every earnings season.
So, man, what really got me into all this was Chibi. When I bought Chibi, that crypto coin Chibi,
Mm-hmm.
I put in 1,000, and probably like in 4 days went up all the way to 10,000. I was like, golly, what is this?
Yeah. Worst thing that can happen to you.
Where that was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. Because after that, I had bad imagination about trading. Right, that
Oh yeah, you got a fat head, you're overconfident. Oh, okay, I'm gonna take XRP to $10. I'm gonna buy 50,000 shares of it. All right, bet.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yes, sir.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, I see a couple YouTubers, and they're all the same thing, man. The most I ever risk is 5%, 3%.
Yep.
But you see, they have big old accounts, right? They get 50, $60,000